I'm Dr. Jared Burks. I'm a professional archaeologist. I work mostly in Ohio, but I spend a fair bit of time on Middle Bass Island in the summer. And one of the things I like to do, and I do it as part of my job, is something called geophysical survey. And that's where you use instruments like ground penetrating radar to look beneath the ground surface without excavating. And here at the Middle Bass Club, we have a really excellent area for using these instruments just off to my right here. This is where the clubhouse, the second clubhouse for the club, used to be located. It was built in the 1880s, and before that there was an earlier clubhouse just to the south, so presumably the foundations of both of those are still out here. So over the last, I think it was 18 years ago, I conducted the first geophysical surveys out here just on the weekend when I'd come up, mostly as a way to test my instruments, but I did know that the remains of the clubhouse should be below ground out here. We've run techniques called magnetometry, earth resistance, ground penetrating radar, and then today I did something called electromagnetic induction, all in an effort to detect what might be present below the surface. And all four instruments have detected the remains of the clubhouse, and the ground penetrating radar was the winner. It produced some very nice looking plan maps of the locations of the foundations and the two cellars that were out here, one underneath the original clubhouse and another beneath the second clubhouse. This kind of patch of irregular looking grass, you notice that it's a bit greener here than in the surrounding grass, and that's because I'm standing in the remains of the second cellar. So this would have been the cellar that was beneath the second clubhouse. So imagine 3 stories of clubhouse above me. That's what used to be here. Not sure where the stairs were in here, although I think maybe they might have been on this side. So the outside edge of the clubhouse was right about here, and this would have gone under the clubhouse. And the kitchen, from plans of the clubhouse that I've seen, plan drawings, the kitchen was really close to the cellar here. So if we come over here and look in the grass, you can clearly see 2 lines of bricks here. And this is the top of the wall of the cellar going down into the ground. Based on the ground penetrating radar data, I know that this may go down to bedrock here. It's pretty deep. I'm standing in a slight depression here, and you can see this maple tree here. The roots are right at the surface, which is a little unusual for the trees in the grove here. And the reason that is here is because I'm standing on the buried remains of the cellar from the first clubhouse. Now this is something that we detected in the ground penetrating radar and earth resistance surveys, and we excavated a small test pit into it just to see what was in there that was causing such a distinctive signature in the geophysical data. And what we found was that at least the top bit of the cellar, maybe the whole thing, was filled with chunks of plaster and nails and other building debris, probably from the first clubhouse. And I think maybe that was all deposited in there when they, in the process of moving the first clubhouse up the road. So not everything that archaeologists look for is located below ground. Sometimes we look for clues at the surface, such as this sidewalk here. This is the original sidewalk from the clubhouse, installed in the late 1800s. And if you look closely here, you can see that there's a part of it that kind of bumps out toward the grove. This was attached to the main access point to the second clubhouse building. So this is a clue that tells us where that building once was located. There are other clues in the grass here that tell us where the second clubhouse was located. And right here, right at the surface, we can see the mortar and some impressions of bricks where one of the foundation piers of the clubhouse was located. And there are a whole series of these piers preserved out here right at the surface or just under the surface, and they're really distinctive in the ground penetrating radar data.